live. I've now got
Awesome.
like the Twitch stream manager on my iPads.
I don't even have us up. Where are we? There we are. Okay.
We're on the YouTubes.
This is like the most Monday Sunday. I think it's the
On
best
the
way to explain
YouTubes
it.
as always.
On the tubes of views.
On the
Click
tubes
the
of
livey
views.
button. All
Right.
right.
So we are live on Twitch now. So that's
Sweet.
handy to know. And we're also live on the tubes of you.
We are. We are. I feel like it's so just like, people come into the thing. It's like, hey, what's we've been going for a while because that's how we roll.
I
This
mean,
is
that's it. But that's it. It's like
yeah.
we've tried doing it where we start, but this is the live recording. The whole.
This is the live recording. This is our love letter to all of our followers. Like y'all get to see the real shit. Y'all get to see
This is
the
where you get to
pre-show.
see the true sociopathic me.
As if you're not that everywhere else. Like
Less so.
mm,
Fucking hell, I turn it down.
I believe you. I
Fuck
believe
me.
you.
That's all right. So speaking of,
Yeah.
time to switch into character.
Such a decay.
A
Aren't we both
non-hateful
characters?
person.
That
Yeah. It's anyway. All right. So welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by two people who fail wisdom saving throws with advantage.
I mean, it's a little rude for you
It's
to come
not
out of the gate swinging.
not true. It's not
No,
that.
that's
It's accurate.
you know what? I'm gonna go home, except I
The
am
fact that
home.
I've got a cut on my finger proves that fucking point.
I mean, yeah, I have the olds. I have a case of the olds. Took Bella for a
Fuck
new
off.
route. No, I'm
Case of
serious.
the
Hear me
olds.
out. Hear me out. I took Bella for a new walking route. And where I live, there's a lot of hills and mountains and whatever. And during the walk, I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Whoo, great, great. And then like later that day into this morning, now when I bend my knees, there's this like creaking sound. Like, oh no, I've got old people knees.
And I'm
So,
gonna say something I am finding myself saying more and more each day now. It's wait till you get to my age.
but you're not even old. You're a little person age still.
I really am not.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all wish
Really
we
am
were.
not. Not
Oh,
anymore.
there's my light. Hello. Hi,
So
friends.
hey to everyone in chat. Special shout out to Asaya, who is amazed that Atlas has a show.
Isaiah, by the
Isaiah,
way.
sorry, I apologize.
But hi, Isaiah. So glad you're joining us today. Um, yeah, no, good times. Hi, chat. Hi, chat. Hi,
Yep.
friends. We love you all. Much
So
love.
yeah,
I don't
we're
know if you
just
can see that or
discussing
not,
our
but
lack of wisdom.
yeah, which is a lot actually. I decided today I went and got my groceries, I picked up my groceries, and I had the all-knowing brilliant wisdom saving throw idea today. I was like, I need to really like cut
As you
down
do.
on my spending. So I didn't get coffee. I didn't stop by Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't get coffee. I
Well
didn't get a
done.
chocolate cake donut. I didn't do it. And I didn't get like, a little like bagel or something on the side. I
Mm.
was really, really, really good.
Well done. Good
Picked
for
up my
you.
groceries on the way home. I stopped by the nursery. I have 3 new plants. So, girl math. I didn't spend money on junk food. I spent it on plants that last longer.
I did healthy options today.
Oh,
I
do
went to the
to
gym.
us.
I went my supermarket's right next to the gym. So a lot of times I'll go to the gym, I'll work out, I'll go to the supermarket, and more often than not, while I'm in the supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Well, I'll get some sweets or I'll get this.
Oh,
I did gym things, so I'm gonna.
look at
So
you.
today I didn't. Today I went and I stocked up on fruit, which is I got my fruit basket behind me.
Oh,
I also stocked up on like some of those Grays snack bars,
I have
and
no
I
idea
didn't
what that
buy
is, but I'm for it.
any like carbonated drinks at all.
See, here's the problem. I was like only water in the house, maybe some sugar-free energy drinks. That's it. But then I would get this like horrible mood altering craving for a Coke and go down to Stewart's, which is like a convenience store gas station here, and spend more money than I should just buying them conveniently from the store because the prices are jacked up because it's a store.
Hmm. It's Trump's
Um
America.
Oh God, don't get me started. So now I do get these. We're not sponsored. I do get these like zero sugar like mini cokes. Like they're
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 all right. They're Diddy. They're cute.
they're cute. They're little. I like to. Anyways,
They're cute.
but yeah, no, I stand by very much so. I work out so I can do at least some of the things that my characters can do because all my characters are these like powerhouse, like roar, and I'm like, I can at least walk the distance they can walk. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I work out so I don't die at 50.
Mm. Now I can squat like none other. The amount of weight that I can squat is shocking, which is probably why my knees creak. Now that I think about it.
Probably. Probably. I'm trying to ignore the fact that you just. Like, I can squat. It's like,
What do you call them?
no, we call them squats, but I
Yeah.
know there's someone there going, OnlyFans?
Oh,
There's someone
squat.
listening to this kind of
Fantasy
clicking
feet.
on your links now just to see.
Right. That's like the
Gosh,
default now. Like
it's all
people are like, oh,
fucking
you
artwork.
stream? Where's your OnlyFans? Ah, dang it.
It's all fucking artwork.
It is only, but here's the thing. I have to update you listeners or viewers of the show. I did put a poll in our Traveler's Chalice, which is exclusive content. You have to be part of our $3 tavern to get to it. And those members were able to vote, and the vote is in. I will never yuck someone's yum. I will never yuck someone's yum. I will never yuck someone's yum. But I'm going to be asking this question a lot in today's episode. Like, are y'all okay? Like,
We're
because
good.
a lot of our answers from our question of the week had me going like, oh man, are y'all okay? And then the reviews for the poll all came out as orc. That's the first picture I'm going to draw.
I want to see some orc feet.
Orc fantasy feet. So are y'all okay? I'm going to do it. I'm going to post it in our Traveler's Chalice, but I just want to make sure, are y'all
We're good. We're good.
okay?
Yeah, man, just don't ask a question you don't want the fucking answer to. You know what I
I've
mean?
learned. I've learned. And yes,
At
Sam,
no
in the
point.
chat, Mexican Coke is the best.
At no point was any. Although there was one vote to don't do it, and it's like you. That is a disappointment. Wait, you voted don't do it for yourself. Cool. Then I'm less disappointed. I'm very proud of the members
Yeah,
of our
no.
Travelers Challenge.
All of our members, it was unanimous across the board, orc feet. And I'm like, I just threw in the don't do it to see if maybe if one person did it, if others. But I guess you couldn't see the votes until like
Yeah.
after the
And
fact
to be
or something.
honest,
I don't know.
it's like elven feet. You imagine them very much like human feet.
Yeah,
Like the other option, what did you put? You put elven, orc,
goblin or other.
goblin. So for me. It was a toss up between goblin or orc because it's
Yeah,
like I want to see something a bit more
different.
different. You know,
Oh, it'll be different.
just to feed that non-existent kink that I have.
Good to know.
No,
Good to
no,
know.
feet don't do it for me. Oddly enough,
Yeah, no. I mean, like shoes do it for me. Like I'll see a pair of shoes and like, holy hell. But I mean, it's not like a sexual thing. It's just a normal shoe thing.
is it even a tiny bit sexual thing? Yeah,
No,
look at a pair of
but
shoes and go,
no,
fuck it.
but I have shit, this isn't even on topic, but I have seen there's this like black and white print that a lot of people have, well, not a lot of people. I've seen like above the headboard in certain like master suites where it's like I don't know
It's
how
like
to
something.
it's legs. They're legs with heels. That's it. But it's
Okay.
anyway. If
Alright.
you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
I've
If you
no
don't,
idea
don't
what
worry
you're
about
talking
it.
I'm just letting you I'm just watching you trying to explain it. That's fun.
Watching me face plant and fail explaining, which is funny because I run game tonight. So I'm like, oh, get my words together. I got to get my English connected. I have to like figure out my
So,
stuff.
speaking of games,
Hmm,
how's your
yeah.
gaming week been?
Really good. I had an interesting experience this week because our party came into a farm that was basically getting bullied by like I, I always say street urchins because that's like where my brain goes. But it's like that it wasn't a big bad evil guy. They weren't even murdering people. It was like, hey, we're gonna lock you and your family up in the farm and we're gonna take your shit and take your money. Which obviously we're the good guys. So we got conscripted and asked, like, hey, can you go like free the farmers and like get rid of these bandit people? Um, and our party went hard. Like they came out swinging and smashing and things were going sploosh and pow and bang that like probably shouldn't have like but the reason I find this interesting isn't because like, oh, everybody was like super power charged. It was after the fact because all of our characters are 17 and under, except for one player.
Mm,
They're like an old person, and that's fine. That's actually worked out because it was interesting. I've always played superheroes or characters that live in like a post-apocalyptic fantasy world. They're used to violence. They're trained like warriors and things like that. So playing 17-year-olds that just came out of a river town that have never seen violence against humans like that, emphasis on
mm.
the humans because we did just kill a dragon.
No,
Like,
fair.
but it's like there was this carnage after the fact, and a couple of characters were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna help clean up and do this and this and this," and me and one other player were kind of like, "Hold up, like let's be real for a minute, like." What just happened? Like, so we had the game session ended, but in our Discord server, we have like in character RP moments where
Mm,
we can, like, because we're on the road, we're traveling, and I kind of opened it up to the party. I was like, "Hey, so Maja, my character's name, like Maja's not doing great. She probably hasn't eaten in a while. Just so we're aware of the vibes of the party
mm.
before next session starts." And that actually trickle affected because one of the other players was like, "Yeah, no, like we're not good." And it opened up this really cool RP session like in between games where we got to really dive into character development of like how would a 17-year-old, like, I blew someone's spine out
Yeah.
on accident. Like she literally just, I rolled really well. She
Mm.
turned, she had a magical moment and just looked at the dude who, I mean, like was attacking people, but still looked at the dude, just poof. And like that's not normal. Like I feel like an adult would have a problem with that. A 17-year-old. So it was a really cool like RP developmental moment between games. And I feel like I like that. I like in between game like RP moments. It doesn't happen a lot, but yeah.
I think that does harken back to when we were talking about ludonarrative dissonance, where
Mhm.
unless, like in a lot of games, unless something is mechanically relevant,
Mhm.
you have to put in extra effort
Yeah.
in order to deal with non-mechanical consequence.
Yeah. And it's also it's kind of along the same conversation of, "Oh, tell me about your character." "Oh, I play this." That's not, no. What, tell
Mm.
me about your character, not, what your character can do. Um so it's been fun. It's been a fun story. This game we're currently in is one of those games where like you're constantly thinking about it in the back of your head. Like I'm constantly doing art for it. I'm talking to the other players about like stuff going on. But tonight I reunite my game. I haven't played my game. I had a mini hiatus. We're introducing a new character slash new player, and I'm having to do some like damage control storyline wise. So I'm nervous, but I think I can pull it off.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be
But I mean
fine.
that whole thing with what you were saying previously
Hmm.
about the violence happening and how the
Yeah.
characters deal with that. That reminds me of when I was running my Pathfinder homebrew. It was
Hmm.
around the time when the remaster sort of came out. So I was wanting to find a way to get rid of alignment in my game.
Okay. Yeah.
So I came up with this little side quest
Hmm.
in which there was a town. And with everything going wrong in the world and everything happening, this town was like a bubble of safety. It was safe. Nothing
Love
was
that.
happening. The reason for that is because a very powerful, not necessarily evil entity, but just so powerful it's indifferent to us entity
Mm.
was present. So it was keeping all the bad things away. Now, what these people had been told, these people, the people of this town, had been misguided in saying that they have to sacrifice some of their townspeople every year in order to keep this place safe. So, what they decided to do, instead of killing off Jeff and his wife Maureen, they would go and they would get people from outside and they would convince them to come and live in the town, and they would treat them like royalty.
Hmm.
And then once a year was up, dead zone, and they would carry on. So the party got wind of this. It was a whole investigation and a whole mystery. And when everything kind of kicked off, when everything kind of came to a head,
Yeah.
it ended up as a a slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
The town rebelled against the party. The party just outright slaughtered everybody.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it was pretty much business as usual. But I had one character, the person that they saved, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
what you have just killed 30 people in
Mm-hmm.
cold blood, and you are planning on what's happening next. Yes, you've saved me. Wonderful. But did you have to kill them?
Right. Yeah.
Was that the answer? And
Mm-hmm.
basically, and I use that as a way to kind of make people realize that, like, the whole good, evil, all that spectrum was relative.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, like alignment is relative because you have to remember like each character's point of view. And I really love, again, that's why I love developing characters with the storyline and not so much what they are, but who they are. Because like you said, it's relative. I got into a bad habit. I played a lot of Mutants and Masterminds for like a year or two. That was like I think the only system I played. And there's nothing wrong with that. We had such a good story going that it was just huge. But I got into the mindset of like I'm a superhero, like. And it's actually interesting because in our inmates game, something happens to Halo that looking back on it, I was like, okay, like I shrugged it off and I'm going, that's not a normal reaction. Like even if like you are a superhero and these things, you're used to like getting beat up and smashing and whatever, like limbs being dismembered is not normal.
Yeah.
Like you would have a little stronger reaction. So it's not even for me, it's not even always mechanic. It's like I play a type long enough that I have to like wait a minute. Like no, like like you said, it's perspective. Like someone that's not something someone normally experiences.
Mm,
Like and I think that that's one of the beauty of this hobby. And I feel like this is like a no duh statement. But like part of the beauty of role playing is being able to put yourself in that situation and play that out, play that role of like, hey, I'm a 17-year-old girl who's got these magic powers. She doesn't know where they came from. She doesn't want them. Like when I'm speaking as Maja in character, it's a condition. She never says like, "Oh, I've
mm,
got these powers." It's like, "I've got this condition I'm trying to get rid of." Like
mm,
because to her, she's like, "I didn't ask for this. I don't want this." And it's hard. It's hard because I
mm.
catch myself slipping where I'm like, "Yeah, when her stuff happens."
Yeah.
Like it's like stuff happens. Stuff happens. Things happen. Stuff happens.
Speaking of stuff happening,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
played
how's your
Delta
gaming?
Green on Wednesday. Thank you very
Ooh.
much. I'm bringing the segues back. I mean, I think we haven't really leaned into the segues a bit, so I am trying to bring them back.
When you get like a sound effect visual board, like boom, segue.
Yeah, that's it. Just just like a sign that says segue. Um, we don't have the budget for visuals.
I'll make a graphic that's like the Subway sandwich logo brand, but it'll say Segway.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to like closely associate us with Subway for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, we played Delta Green and we lost a character,
Oh,
which, considering it's Delta Green, is pretty fucking good going.
yeah.
They've lasted long, but it was genuinely a point of what's gonna hit zero first, his
Mm.
sanity or his hit points.
Mm.
And I think he at that point, even the player saw the writing on the wall and went, "Yeah, I'm fucked."
Oh.
But
Oh.
it's Delta Green. These things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
These
mean,
things do happen.
to be honest,
It is known.
especially in impossible landscapes, you know,
Yeah.
character dying is probably the best outcome.
Oh, that's so messed up, but I totally get it.
Yeah, you
Like-
know. I was kind of going, oh, if he hits zero, oh, if he hits zero, but then he died. It's
Mm.
like, well, at least now you get closure. Whereas if you don't,
I
then
guess. I guess. I had a oh, sorry. I
okay,
leaned forward and there's clicky sounds from my keyboard. I don't know what I pressed. So if something weird just happened to our viewers, I
nothing
apologize.
here.
Okay. It's leaned. It's like, oh no. Um That's funny. Connell in chat. Wait, so John lost his Monk Archer one game, then a character died in Delta Green. Is this a PC death a week thing now? Maybe it is. Maybe next week I'll come in and be like, hey, one of my characters died.
It's like Final Destination.
I want to see the new one so bad.
I didn't know there was a new one. I
There's a new
assumed
one
that
coming
they'd hit
out.
their Final Destination at this
No,
point.
no, there's a new one coming out in May. And here's the thing. I like those because they're fun, but I can only watch them like once. Like I can't rewatch them.
There
So,
was a reel on Instagram the other day where it was like it's somewhere in the States on like a motorway. There's like five
oh,
lanes, and
yeah,
in the middle lane there's one of these trucks with fucking logs on it and no cunts behind them. And
nobody.
it's like
Yeah,
that
no.
movie's ruined people.
That movie has ruined people. That movie has made streets safer because people are very conscious about driving
I thought
behind
that
us.
was funny though.
I've had a lot of people with the new one. They're hiding their septum rings because there's a scene involving a nose ring, a septum ring, and
Hmm.
so people are like watching the trailer and they're flipping their septum rings back up in their nose or they're taking them out completely. And I'm like, oh well, there goes another industry.
I think I saw two of them, and then I just lost
Uh,
interest.
that's why I can only watch them once because it's kind of there's certain horror movie like industries that's like you watch one, you watch them all. It's not,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think Final Destination it becomes
Saw was
you.
like that for me for a while until I found out the big twist at the very, very end, like 6 movies down the road. And then I was like, oh, now I got to go back and rewatch all of them because I'm interested now.
Yeah, I think Saw did it really well, in which every
Hmm.
twist added to something else.
Yeah,
So I think they did it really well. But Final Destination after the second movie, it's like it's
I want
death.
to. I want
Death's
to
gonna win.
play. I want to play a TTRPG like that.
I won't say there's one like that that I know of, but there is one for it's a
Like,
Forged in the Dark
uh
cyberpunk game where you are doing your last heist. So you are going
huh. Okay,
effectively you are either going to die or get captured, or you
interesting.
are so it is the last heist that you're running.
I want
Um,
to do like an escape room survival TTRPG. We've talked about this briefly, like with Bullet Train. I'll find these like movies or themes that I'm like, oh, I want to play a game like that. Like I don't want to run it. I want to play it, but nobody's running
you
or
should
building this. I should
you
build
should
the
check
game.
out the I'm begging you to play another role playing game Facebook
Uh-huh,
group,
uh-huh.
because a lot of the interactions that go on there is basically that question.
Huh.
Someone going, "Oh, I've had this idea. What game can I use?" And yes, Fate and GURPS are mentioned in every fucking thread.
Right.
But then there are other sort of like suggestions
Hmm.
where they're really good. So yeah, should check it out. We also played Abomination Vault.
Okay.
It is like it's the second to last session of that, and we are finishing on Thursday.
Oh my gosh. How
And
do you
I will
feel?
finally put that behind me. So I've spoken to the table, and it's like, right, I'm not running any more Pathfinder. It's done.
Yep.
If someone else wants to run Pathfinder, I will
Mhm.
play, but that's it. If you want me to run something, it's going to be something different. So we'll have to see what happens.
I'm excited to see what's next for you. Like that'll be good. That'll be good.
I've got ideas. I would like to run and I've already put it in our Discord. So
Hmm.
if you do want to join our Discord, where we're currently kind of revamping it and trying to give it a push, we're going to have different channels for different sort of conversations, which you can pick and choose what you're interested in. But one of the things I posted recently is I want to do a regular Blades in the Dark game,
Oh yeah, I saw
whether
that.
it's like once a month or once every. We'll start with once a month,
Yeah.
and because I want to see what happens in the game. I want to see, because there are late stage game things where you can build your crew and
Hmm.
essentially try and take over the city, and that's kind of what the side of the game that I want to see.
Mm,
So I'm thinking of running that.
that'd be good.
So
That'd be
I'm thinking
good.
about doing it once every month, maybe on a Sunday
Yeah.
after the show.
Mm.
And currently I've got 2 players interested. Could do
Nice.
with another couple,
Yeah.
maybe even 3,
Yeah.
and
I
just have it as a Sunday game.
I was just thinking about player like limit. I'm trying to think. I think right now my like comfort zone for players is like 5.
Five. I mean, five's a good number.
It's a lot, but like I
I've
think that's my
done.
comfort zone.
I've started out with eight,
Yeah, Jesus, how the fuck do you
but
run 8?
I will. There is a massive sort of asterisk. It was like sorry, 8 casino workers.
Oh,
So their shift patterns are all over the place. So at no point did I have all 8 players at the same time.
got it. Okay, I thought you meant like 8 in a game because that's what I was talking about. I was like, holy hell, like how do you? That makes sense though.
So Connell just asked about Savage Worlds. I've already
Mm,
got Savage Worlds planned. That is for when Impossible Landscape ends. We're going to start Savage Pathfinder, and we're going to be doing Skull and Shackles.
that's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's the bugbear. I never finished it, and I want to finish it
yeah.
because I think it is a fun. Well, get rid of book one because it's shit, but the adventure itself is a lot of fun. I mean, you're playing as fucking pirates,
I
and
love pirates.
there are things like mass battles, and you get to
Yeah.
be eventually in charge of a fleet, and very Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love pirates so much. They're so hard to do well though. Like it's like bacon. I love bacon. People are like, well, you never eat bacon when you go out to eat. And like, yes, because I love bacon. I like bacon done correctly, not just I'm a bacon
So
snob, I guess.
bacon, right? How do you do bacon correctly?
I like it crispy. Not crispy
Right.
to the fact that it's burnt, but like if I have to bite into my bacon and pull to eat it, no, that's not bacon. Like it needs to be like you bite it and you can just eat it. Like
Yeah, fair enough. I get that.
yeah. like
I think that's still quite an easy thing to accomplish, though.
you would think, but everybody's like, no, that's overdone, and nobody here puts like when I ask for a bacon like on a breakfast sandwich or a burger or on the side from like my breakfast plate, whatever I go and I have to ask for it burnt, and they look at me like, oh, okay, I'm like, no, burn the bacon and we'll be good, and they're like, okay, and they bring it back and it's never burnt, it's done perfectly right. I'm like, okay,
God damn those people doing their jobs properly.
right. But yeah.
Those bastards.
But that's how I feel about pirates. Like I love pirate games. I want to play more pirate games, but I feel like you have to be so careful because certain I feel like certain role playing games, tabletop role playing games, whatever, can get a little cabin feverish. Um, like if I'm on the same boat doing the same thing for 3 sessions, I will get so bored. Like,
Hmm.
um, throw me a boat battle, throw me a, oh, you docked at town and there's this like thing you have to deal with, like I can't do the like I'm saying with books though, like these people will be like, you should read this book, I'm like, they're on the boat and doing nothing for like 12 chapters, I can't. I can't
I
do
mean,
that.
I mean, in their credit, the guys at Paizo, they did try that with this
Yeah.
adventure path.
Hmm.
But it did suffer from being Pathfinder in the
Yeah.
sense that there was a lot of fill. There was a lot of,
Oh,
okay, so now you have to go into this dungeon and face these creatures which have nothing to do with the plot.
that's weird.
And all they're going to do is drain your resources. They're going to give you XP so you can level up. So by the time the end of the book comes, you are ready to face whatever.
Hmm.
But they did kind of try and mix it up where they've added in like a reputation mechanic
Oh, that's
where
cool.
in order to like pass certain barriers or get a seat at the table, you have to have a high enough reputation.
Yeah.
But the problem is when it came to, oh, let's get into ship battles,
Yeah.
players tried it once and went, fuck me, this is bad.
Yeah.
And they lost all interest.
Mm.
So it just became a grind. And the first book is
Yeah.
like that. The first book is fucking shocking.
Mm.
But I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do my own thing for the first book.
Yeah.
And not only that, because two of the players already played in Skulls and Shackles, I want to give them a
Oh,
different experience.
yeah. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, and not on like on top of that, the way that the adventure path begins doesn't lean into the piracy aspect of it
Okay.
because you spoiler alert, you start press ganged.
Okay.
So there's
Cool.
no preamble. It's basically, hey, you created this character. This character, we're telling you it has to be a pirate,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, so you start the adventure off as a victim. You start the adventure off
Hmm.
as, and then the book tells you, oh no, you have to be a bloodthirsty pirate. It's like, well,
Uh,
not to sound too melodramatic, but where's
yeah.
my fucking motivation?
Right. That's that was actually my biggest issue with our table as a whole when we played Shadowrun is like I don't want to say you're the bad guy in Shadowrun, but you're a criminal trying to
Mm,
make it, right? And everybody that I play with at our table, like our home table, is very superhero coded mentally. So they're like, we gotta do this job. I'm like, well, why? Like, we don't want to be the bad guys. Like, well, because we need money to survive. And they're like, we can find other ways. Let's start a garden. I'm
yeah, I had
like,
one player
that's fair.
who was aboard a pirate ship because he was searching for his father.
Yeah, that's
So
I
it's
like
like,
that.
so what happens when we get to a pirate town and he goes, I can either be on a fucking boat with no answers for the next 6 months, or I can investigate in this pirate town.
Right.
Why the fuck am I staying in this adventure?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like we had to make Shadowrun work for our table. We had to edit it so hard. It was good. Like I love
Mm,
Shadowrun and I loved what we did. But Connell, for example, it wasn't just like we are criminals. We did like a dock wagon crew. So we
mm,
were like first aid responders. And it flipped the narrative of like the typical Shadowrun world game that is run, and kind of like you said, it was able to give a new experience for people who had like played
yeah,
Shadowrun in our table, and it was so different. Oh my gosh, it was so good, it was so yummy. But Shadowrun combat's hard, and it's not hard like complicated hard. It's like you try to stay awake hard. Like,
that's Pathfinder for me now.
yeah,
That is...
yeah,
Except for when my
yeah,
character's dying, I seem to pay a lot of attention at that point.
yeah.
I seem to
Figures,
pay,
go
I seem to
figure.
be very, very attentive.
But I love the reputation gauge. Household has something kind of like that, except it's
Mm.
it just left me.
Okay, no worries.
It's
It'll come
like
back to you.
it's like
Just
when
shout it out.
you're prestige almost like
Prestige works.
yeah, like if you're dirty, unbathed, or you don't have nice clothes, you're like further down on the social ladder because this is like we're talking fairies and boggarts and spirits
Hmm.
and things. So like yeah,
The
but
Fae, which you fucking hate.
I don't hate them. I said fuck the fae. You can like something, and
You said that. You said you hated them.
I said fuck the fae.
It's you guys. Right in. Does Atlas hate the Fae?
But anyways, but like if you're like clean, if you're like, oh, I'm wearing a nice shirt or trousers or something, then suddenly like you have better roles in society because people are like, oh, okay, like you're a good fae, you
Hmm.
take care of yourself, fae. I'm looking around for my charger because I just heard my hear thingies go boop boop.
Ah.
Found it.
So we may lose Atlas. So
No, I
we may
used to
lose
have.
Atlas. We may lose Atlas to the big bad evil guy that is battery power.
Well, here's the problem. I use Corsair and I used to have the Corsair assistant that like there's this great voice that was like battery low. And I had to uninstall it because it's doing weird things to my computer. Um and now I just get boop boops. But my low battery boop boop is the same thing as like, hey, you're about to die boop boop, which is the
Hmm.
same thing as the like, hey, you should charge me at some point boop boop. So I don't know which boop boop it is.
Fair enough. Baboop is going to be in the show title now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you don't know which Baboop.
Boop boop.
All right, but I did try to set you up for a segue there, but you
You did.
completely
I
fucking
did.
missed it.
I did.
Just went away, just completely missed it. So the segue was big bad evil guy.
Big bad evil guy.
Do you want to
Yeah,
kind
I
of
sure
go?
do. Yeah, yeah, I do. So anyways, not that I didn't intend to do like a character question 2 weeks in a row, but I asked. The gist of what I asked was like, if you're gonna be a big bad evil guy, who would you be? The exact way I worded it is not where I left it. Oh, that's funny. I didn't change the question.
Oh no, you didn't. Okay, so I'll have to bring up the question then, shall
That's
I?
hilarious. Do you have the question up somewhere?
I will get the question in just a second. We are professional people.
We are. This is twice now that I've gone to do the question, and I'm like, oh no.
All right. Okay, because I posted it in the Discord. It's like if you, the player in real life, were to classify yourself as a big bad evil guy in any TTRPG, what would you be? Give me races, tragic origin story, classes, special powers, or moves. Let's give
Mhm.
a John a run for his money on the bad guys.
All right. This was another one where I wanted to look at our followers and be like, "Are y'all okay? Do y'all need a hug?" I wasn't expecting the answers I got, but we'll go through them. Okay.
I thought they were good answers.
They were great answers. Like they're very well thought out answers, but I still think everyone needs a hug. Like, all right. And we've got some good ones. Okay. So Corey Painter on Threads. I would be an elf who feels much older than he is, always feels like they are meant to do something, always wanting to finish something so they have a tangible thing to represent something he was passionate about in life. Even though they live so long, he never feels like he has the time to do what he desires, which starts to shatter his mind as he tries to create. Maybe working on something to prevent a catastrophe, but didn't because he got in his own way. He's remembered for his failure instead. Now his spirit roams the world, siphoning ambition from heroes. Holy shit.
I
And then,
think
of course,
that's a
it's
pretty solid
good.
character.
It's good. It's so
Mm.
solid. But then what's great is he follows it up with LOL, this is pretty dark. And explains that he, struggles with things in real life. So like again, I did ask like if you, the person, was the big bad evil guy. So like I love that he did kind of go into further detail about how he's trying to break like the anxiety he deals with day by day, but that would manifest in his bad guy. Loved it. Um then shut down or scoot down. I'm not really sure.
Shoot down.
Shoot down? Okay. Yeah, on Threads.
That's how I would say it anyway.
I like
I
it.
may
No,
be
I
wrong.
like it. I like it. I would absolutely be a depressed lich turned demi lich. I have a strong fear of death, so the ability to cheat it would be tempting. Once gotten and realizing all my loved ones have died and I lived on, I'd stop maintaining the phylactery only to result in my mind being twisted. My desire to live forever with those I love is twisted into the only way to be with people forever is in death, and I give that gift to the world.
Okay. But no, there is a. I
I
think that.
just genuinely love that everybody, well, mostly everybody that answered this question took like I don't say weaknesses, but took things about themselves that they knew were like, yeah, I
Mm.
struggle with this. Boom, bad guy. And I'm like, oh,
No, I mean these are some solid answers.
they're good. Like I want to
Mm.
draw most of these, to be honest. Like as I'm reading them, I'm like, oh, I can see that.
Yeah, I'd put some of these in a campaign.
Yeah, seriously.
Mm.
Killam Faulkner on Threads. I think I'd be a paladin sorcerer sworn to the cause of justice and equality, but disillusioned by the inhumanity, cruelty, and injustice in the world. I would forsake my oath and turn instead to the powers of darkness to impose my own version of order on the world. Tragic backstory would just be some fantasy version of all the BS of living in the modern world. Oh, and I would want some sort of time manipulation powers just because.
I mean,
I
time
love that.
manipulation's always a fun one.
I actually responded to them in threads because I was like, that's epic, but like I hate the concept of time manipulation because I'm bad at math. So I feel like I would constantly, as a player, fuck it up. Like um
I like this next one.
yeah, the dire consequences. I think it'd be a lich, a party lich, who became a lich to party forever, but now needs more souls to sustain his lichhood. Now, here's the thing. In the question, I did post a comment about like, let's give John a run for his money. You, John.
Yes, I think I
This
think I think where people some people know me as John, some people know me as Juan.
one,
I think
yeah,
that's probably confused people because
probably
I present myself as Juan on
exactly.
social media,
Yep,
so that's
yep.
probably
It's because he goes. Also, am I the John you're running the money of? Because this might be schizophrenic paranoia, but my name is John. So no, no, John. We weren't talking about you.
talking
Just to
about
make that
me,
official. Yeah, talking about that
the
one.
Juan and only.
Yeah, but the party lich idea I love. So good. A lot of lich answers. Again, like, are y'all okay? Did
That just shows like the prevalence of D&D and how much that
yeah.
has permeated into popular culture.
I guess.
Because one of the most like known enemies and big bad evil guys is a lich from D&D.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Kyle Kyle Stroudva.
Kyle
Is that
Stradva, yeah.
yeah. One of those only a villain because the plot says he is. Villains like Magneto, who is hot by the way in the '97 cartoon. Sorry, side
I still
tangent.
need to watch it.
That's not
I've
what.
watched.
That's not Kyle Stroud saying that. That's Atlas's little insertion. I
Hmm.
saw the word Magneto and I'm like, yeah, yes, please. Um, The ones that writers intentionally have to add in scenes that show them casually detonating a school bus or something to reinforce that they're going too far because their base argument is
Yeah,
actually entirely reasonable.
yeah. The trope is called kicking the dog.
Oh.
It's a known trope
Mm.
that if you ever see like a show or something like that, and the bad guy does something really really bad and unwarranted, so they call it kicking the dog, and it is just to show, hey, just to remind you, this guy's the bad guy. Let's not empathize too much with them.
That's yeah. Um then our dear Darth Odious on Threads also says, I feel like I'd be the enlightened despot. Despot? Des-
Despot, the
Despot.
enlightened despot.
Uh-huh. Short and sweet. Oh, we love
Mm.
Rob. And then our own Connell, I'd be a road to hell as paved in good intentions villain, likely a superhero or vigilante who decides he knows what is best and goes too far. My former allies just wouldn't understand what needs to be done, that sometimes you have to make some sacrifices for the greater good, like a true hero.
Like a true hero.
Yeah, like a true hero.
Like a true hero. I could not agree more. Like a true hero.
For those
Yep.
listening or watching that don't know the inside joke, John plays in the Mutants and Masterminds character that is not a true hero.
He is a true hero. He
He's
is the
not.
true hero.
He's not.
He's just not full of shit like yours is.
Mine's not a hero. She just wants out of jail.
I did add one
I
more.
do. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead with this one because I like something's wrong with my throat.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Stefan over on our Discord,
Hmm.
he added that I think I resonate a lot with Thorgrim, a scion of Thrym. Thorgrim is a gargantuan ice titan. He uses his natural persuasiveness to enlist frost giants and create a gigantic ice steading in the Frostfell. He got his start as a guardian titan for the Emperor, but was cast out of proper Titan society because of the jealous Titan, a scion of Memnor, whose love interest fancied Thorgrim over the scion of Memnor. That scion pleaded a case to the Emperor of Titans of that Emperor fabricating Thorgrim's wrongdoings. So Thorgrim was cast out, but did not wallow in self pity. No, he went where most Titans don't go, the Frostfell. There he started amassing an army of frost giants to one day march upon the golden city of Titans and slay the scion of Memnor, punish the emperor, and then rule the golden city, transforming it into a frozen landscape. He has several attack options like his massive ice axe, but his favorite is the glacial upheaval, digging his hands into the ground and launching a magically conjured mass of ice 100 feet into the air, with his enemies upon it, making them fall the 100 feet back to the ground. That's detailed. That Stefan
That's
went in.
He went to the lore. We love lore. I
Yeah,
love
we love
backstories.
We love it.
But here's the thing. What my takeaway from that was like, I don't know if Stefan here, our dear Stefan, is going, yeah, frost giant, because I'm big and strong and scary and raw, and he doesn't give up. He was like, yeah, no, I formed an army, let's go. Or if Stefan is saying, like, yeah, all the girls want me, so I got cast out.
A bit of column A, a bit
A
of
little
column
column B. I was like, wait a minute, what?
B. All right. Okay, so how about you? All right, let's kind of swing that focus onto you and just kind of go. So
Hmm.
if you had to kind of represent yourself as a big bad evil person, what would that be?
You know what's funny? I'm never ready to answer my own questions. Like I have a million questions, but I'm never like,
Hmm?
oh, that's my answer. All right, myself. Not what would I play, what would I whatever, but what I have something in my eye. But what I would resemble most in my like shortcomings in life, it's super basic. I think a lot of people struggle with this. Um, I think that I don't know what my powers would be because again, that's not really the question. I mean, it is partially, but I feel like I would be trying to fix things. And one of the followers said that it's like I want things to be good and good for many people. So like I would fix things, and I think that would be the problem is that I in my journey to try and fix things, I would get kind of like tunnel visioned a little bit,
Hmm.
and like okay, that solution isn't good for everybody though. Um, I think yeah, I think I would definitely be like I don't want to say this, but I definitely think that like if I were to be turned into big bad evil, unfortunately, I would be one of those like big domineering ones that's like no, like this kind of Magneto-ish,
Hmm.
like no, this is the good right way to do things and we're going to make it this way. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
who has to die in order to make it that way. Um
I think I would agree quite a lot with Connell
Yeah,
for myself.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would agree with Connell. And I'm not entirely sure if this is what Connell implied, but for me, it wouldn't be a case of I'm trying to do the right thing, but going the not necessarily the wrong way about it, but I'm doing what's necessary. For me, it would be more of a case of okay, you need a bad person, you need an enemy,
Yeah,
I will take on that role,
it's like Batman.
and it would be I'll take on that role, I'll be the
Yeah.
enemy, and I will do things that you are unable to do. I will do things that you are unwilling, unable, or too weak to do.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, does that make me the villain? Okay, then I'll be the villain. But I'm doing it for this reason. I'm doing it for the right reasons, but
Yeah.
I'm doing what's necessary because you get to a point where you just kind of see things and go, yeah, the old way's not working.
That's one of my in real life triggers, to be honest. Someone's like,
Mm,
be nice. When someone tells me to be nice and I'm already restraining myself, I'm just like, I am being nice. I can
mm,
show you what not being nice looks like.
yeah. And like Connell said, it's Punisher versus Daredevil, and
Yeah.
100%. As much as I want to kind of be on the side of Daredevil and kind of go, no, this is wrong, and you have to, these are the right way of doing things. A lot of my thoughts are with the sort of Punisher side of things and
Hmm.
going, those ways don't work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Which I think, to be fair, a lot of villains do. Like, I don't think there are not a lot of evil coded villains anymore in the world, if you really think about it.
no,
Like, which
in the
is,
world, yes,
well,
in in
in
popular culture,
media.
not so
Yeah,
much.
in media culture. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves, to be completely honest with you. I noticed it. It's been around a lot longer than that, but I noticed it the heaviest with Loki.
Mm,
They painted Loki in the Marvel movies as bad guy, but lovable bad guy. Little
mm.
brother bad guy. Redemption arc bad guy. Redemption arc, is he a bad guy? Redemption arc savior complex. Oh god, no, he's really a good guy. Y'all just misunderstood him all this time. And that was fine. I love what they did with the storyline.
Mm.
The ending of the Loki series. Honestly, you could just watch the last two episodes of the final. You get the whole thing. But it was good. It was a good finale. Um I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. It's overdone now. Like for me, it's like you just misunderstood the villain. They're not really a villain. It's so overdone. But like Fisk in Daredevil for me is a good example of what I do enjoy. Is that like, yes, he in his head is doing the right thing,
Yeah,
but like, oh my gosh, like, dude, you look at the dude and be like, oh, I get where you're coming from, but whoa, like kind of like you said, like that's not necessarily the right way of doing this. um but there's so much in the media right now of like, oh, you just don't understand, like,
I
and
think
I'm like, stop.
I think there is I think a true sort of villain. I think a true sort of no rhyme, no reason
Hmm.
villain. I think it's a very hard thing to write
Yeah,
without becoming a caricature of themselves.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I mean, one of the archetypical like chaotic evil villains is the Joker.
Oh yeah.
There is no rhyme, there is no reason. That person is evil,
Yeah.
which is why, as far as I'm not a comic book savant or any stretch,
Hmm.
but as far as my knowledge is, they've never successfully done a deep dive into the Joker to figure out a backstory, to figure out anything, because he is in essence a force of nature.
Hmm.
I think whenever you do try and focus on a villain, there has to be a rationale. We
Yeah.
saw it in like the original Halloween versus Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh
The
yeah.
original Halloween, there was no rhyme or reason. It
Yeah.
was
Hmm.
Mike Myers.
Yeah,
It was
it was the
Michael Myers,
essence of fear
not my
itself.
Myers,
Yeah.
Michael Myers, who just for
Hmm.
whatever reason went on the rampage.
Yeah.
In the Rob Zombie version, they tried to give you a reason why, and humanizing that villain made it less terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that you want the villain to be solid. I get that you want it to be empathetic because you want to understand, like, you want the character to have depth. You want your villain to have a backstory, and I get that. But I just think that there's a very, very thin line between, like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand that point of view,
Hmm.
but you're still wrong and scary. Kind of like you said, yeah, like you almost, if they make them too human or too empathizable, is that a word? It is now. Um
Yeah. Okay. Empathizable. I like it.
empathizable. Um, it takes away the scariness. It's like it goes from like, oh, I'm scared of you to like, oh, no, I don't want to have those feelings for my villain.
Not only that, but then you get points where it's like, yes, this is the villain,
Yeah.
but they've got a point.
Okay, actually, you know who did it beautifully? And to be honest, I actually mimic a lot of my, I shouldn't say this because some of my players listen to this, but I mimic a lot of my big bad evil guys off of Del Toro bad guys. We've talked
Mhm.
about this. I love Del Toro
Yeah.
so much. Um, his movie Mama is freaky as hell. Okay, it's terrifying. Ah, but by the end of that movie, once you understand what the monster is, you feel bad for it. You're
Yeah.
still scared to death of it because you're going, no, 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 no. But at the end, you are like, I don't know if I was in that situation. I don't know what I would do because there's
Mm.
still that fear of like, scary bad guy. But
Mm.
at the same time, you're going, I know why you are what you are, and that's horrible. Like, so
There is
I like having the element of like, yes, empathy, but it should still be this level of empathy that is like, that is so wrong. Like, oh,
there is a good example for me, which is in Foundation. I've not
mm,
read the books. I've only seen the TV show. Um, the villains there, or like the bad guys there, are essentially clones, and there are three active clones at the same time.
oh,
There's a
okay.
younger one. There's like an adult one, and there's an elder one, and they're called Brother Dawn, Brother Day, and Brother Dusk. All
Mm,
right, and they're clones of each other, and that goes on for generations. So you
yep.
never really see the same character twice. You see Brother Dawn, who is the incumbent. Brother Dawn is the person who's in charge. So you see different versions of
Uh-huh.
them. All right, you
Yeah.
see different versions of them, and you do get the humanizing aspect of to why they are, because they are clones and because they are reared in this environment, that this is why they are these evil sort of tyrannical rulers.
Yeah.
And the empathy starts, and you start kind of feeling that, but then they do something that is so horrifically fucking atrocious
Mhm.
on a cosmic scale that that empathy goes out the window.
Yes. I
Like
love
in
that.
season one, there's a terrorist attack, and he suspects there's this planet that either housing the terrorists or causing the terrorists. He
Mhm.
invites he invites sort of representatives of this planet, hijacks them all, right? Holds them all at gunpoint, murders all their
Oh
aides
no.
in front of them.
Oh
And
no.
not only that, he makes them watch as he positions his entire fleet all around their planet and nukes the ever loving fuck out of it while they watch, and then spares their lives.
Mhm.
And he does that, and you go, fuck.
Yeah, that's
Because
messed up.
the moment you start gaining some empathy for this character,
Yeah.
they just rip that rug away from you and you go, that's irredeemable. There is like no reason for that.
There's a weird thing with, and I think that maybe this is the difference between a villain and a quote unquote bad guy, is that you'll run into bad guys all the time, but it's like, oh, they can be taught better, oh, they can go to therapy, they can be
Yeah, rehabilitated
yeah,
and
yeah, thank you. You saw the pause, the word went whoop, gone. But like villains, I think it's so hard to find that balance because there has to be this, I don't want to say element of fear, but kind of like this,
mm,
like this, Sam mentioned it in the chat, this force of nature,
yeah,
this actual like thing you have to deal with that cannot be reasoned with. But they can't be hollow like empty of like, oh, it's bad because it's bad, because then it's like, oh, okay, I'll just put it down. Like if you have to put it down, I feel like you should feel something. Like there should be some sort of, oh, okay, my perfect, it's the Joker example, right? You know, you're like, oh, it's
Mm,
kind of hard, whatever. They did do a version of Joker that to this day, it was very short. It was very short lived, but like I'm like, y'all should have explored that further because it is my favorite rendition of the Joker, and it's so hard. In Flashpoint comics, it's Bruce. It's Bruce that dies, and his
mm,
parents survive,
yeah.
and his dad becomes Batman, and his mom becomes the Joker, and
Mm,
for that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Of course she would.
yeah.
And that dynamic is my favorite Joker Batman dynamic because it makes sense. But you still look at what she does and you're going, no, no, no,
Mm.
no, no, no. like, ooh, no. So like that's, yeah, it's a hard balance, but I love villains when they're well done. But I don't want to involve myself with the villain in game that at the end of the game it's like, oh, it's okay. Like no. like
I do when I do a game, and I do enjoy putting the morally ambiguous villains in there. I do
yeah.
enjoy putting a villain in there, which is whose motives are and
Hmm.
actions, motive and actions are counterintuitive to the party, and the party are forced to make a choice.
Yeah.
Like there's one I did, and for me, it's one of my favorite villains ever. They arrived at a town, and
Mhm.
this town was filled with adventurers who were stopping by. All right. And there were lots of quests for adventurers. So, what this villain did, he would post fake quests and send adventurers to their deaths. So, then what he would do, he would go in afterwards and take all that loot and go
Oh,
sell it and make a profit. So, if you were to examine that, yes, morally it's fucked. But
yeah.
at the same time, he's not technically doing anything bad. He is just exploiting a system.
Oh my gosh.
And I
That's
created
funny.
that character, and I had this. There was this massive sort of debate between him and the party, where he's going, "What have I done wrong?
Oh my
These adventurers
gosh.
will come in and try and kill everything that moves, and all they want to
Yeah,
do is earn money.
that's
I'm just offering them that opportunity. I'm not being entirely honest about it.
oh my
I'm
gosh.
sending level ones to level 10 encounters essentially, but it's their fucking choice at the end of the day. And there was a
That's
massive
fucked up.
debate. I still enjoy that villain.
I bet. Yeah, no. Like I love, like you said, I love morally grave villains because I feel like there should be there should, like I said, there should be that struggle. And we played a game where our entire party of superheroes were fighting the big bad guy and his alien species, and his name was the Archon. And we got into the mothership, we beat everybody down, and it was like the moment of victory of like, finally we've saved Earth. And then come to find out, like, very very long story short, um there was an entire race of hosts, like, think symbiote aliens.
Mm, yeah.
Like, they weren't sitting here going like, yeah, we want to destroy the planet. They're like, we're trying to survive. This is our last chance to, like, our race not being burnt out.
Mm,
And suddenly the whole vibe in the room changed and everybody's
mm,
like, oh no. And we were faced with a choice of basically one of the characters had to sacrifice herself and be the new host for the Archon in order for
mm,
this race to survive, which would obviously then kill off the character, or not. And they would
mm,
just kill off the species. And I've never seen our table take that long to make a decision before. Because I
mm,
mean, it's technically that one character's decision, but the teams there, like, are they gonna let her make that decision? Half of them were like, it's up to you, and the other half were like, no, you're not doing this. So
mm.
it was just this whole, like, again, you're like, yeah, that's bad, but like, you're saving your entire race. I kind of get it. Like,
Mm.
that's kind of a big deal. Villains, man,
Yeah, I
villains.
mean, it's a tough one to write a good solid villain motivation. I think,
Yeah.
because a lot of times their motivations and their actions don't coincide.
No. No, they don't.
Like in Abomination Vaults, spoiler alert, the main villain there is a ghost who
Yeah.
was shunned um by a particular city's society 500 years ago and whatnot. So
Mhm.
her response 500 years later is to abolish the city in its entirety. And you kind of go,
Amazing.
yeah, okay, that's the actions that they're doing to kind of highlight them
Yeah.
as the villain. But realistically, is it's a big leap from motivation to action.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of villains kind of fail,
Yep.
where okay, so yes, this villain had a tough childhood, but now he's blowing up the world. It's like,
What was I watching? I just watched a show about that. Oh, the new season of Black Mirror is up. In case you didn't know, go watch it on
hmm,
Netflix. Not sponsored. Um, the second episode. The second episode, there's what you could consider a bad character doing bad things in it, and then you find out why they're doing this thing, and it's from like this horrible experience in high school, and you're going, that like what? Like
I
I
mean,
got bullied. I'm going. Oh,
that you kind of you can kind of in a way lead to that, but I'm thinking
ah.
when it goes astronomical, when it
That it
goes,
did though. That's what I'm
uh,
saying. Like I
I've
don't
not
want to.
seen it, so
Yeah, I'm trying to be vague. I don't want to ruin anything for
mm,
anybody, but like it is an astronomical like multi-universe affecting thing
mm.
because someone got bullied in high school, and I'm going. That seems a little much. Like I get high school trauma. Trust me, I get it. But I'm just sitting
Mm.
here going.
And yeah, and I think something like Black Mirror, where you've only got like a 40-minute episode, it's hard to kind of
Yeah,
track. So
yeah,
you just see the two polar ends of it. You kind of go
yeah.
bullied to let's destroy some planets,
Exactly.
but you don't see the sort of the growth that
Yeah,
happens in between. So
like
yeah, and that's when like giving the villains a motivation does kind of fall apart, because you kind of go,
it.
this
Yeah,
is what started it off, but who knows what happened in between.
and that's what I like about our hobby, tabletop role playing games. When you're writing your own story, which I know a lot of people don't, they run books or adventures, and that's fine. But like you can kind of write your own villain and bad guy. In my current campaign I'm running right now, my without giving anything away, my villain is
Okay, that's a pause. That's
I gotta be careful how I say this. I made a very, very deliberate choice to not I'm speaking with things on my desk. To not be like, oh, here is the big bad guy. Like from the beginning, be like, here's the big bad guy. You need to go kill him.
mm,
I very much so implemented like this thing happened. There are multiple like rivers flowing from that bad thing that happened that are spawning multiple bad things that are affecting the
yeah.
world. Um, and the players have figured that out. So like that's not a spoiler or anything, but it'll be curious to see like if their response is like, okay, let's build dams on all those little river
Mm.
points, and stop the damage and see if we can fix it that way, or if they're gonna try and backtrack all the way to like, let's see if we can like,
Figure out the it's the
yeah,
whole 100 tiny horses or whatever fucking question.
yeah, and I
100
and
duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck.
yes, and I have one NPC that my player Connell hates, and I think it's unwarranted personally, but
Is
he
it Tree
thinks
Rider by any
that is
chance?
Tree Rider.
Yeah, I
He's
don't know how
a
I knew that.
Yeah, I don't know how he knew that in the chat. But yeah, no, I don't know. Tree Rider's not the bad guy. I don't know why you think he's the bad guy. Tree Rider's fine.
He's totally the bad guy. She's full of shit. She told me
But you see,
privately.
now I have the choice. Now I have the choice if he's not the bad guy, and I can just die on that hill, and that player's gonna be tormented and convinced that he is otherwise. Or I pull out the rug from everybody and surprise Tree Rider's the bad guy. And it's like, I knew it. But I'm like, but did you? Or did I make that decision after the fact? So
Yeah, I mean, I've done that before.
yeah.
I've changed the bad guy in the same
Yeah.
Pathfinder homebrew.
I mean, you might as well. Why not?
I started out with like a bad guy, and
Hmm.
then I don't know why I changed it, but I just thought it'd be a funner, more fun idea, and it was.
Mhm.
I completely changed it. I made the who they were thinking were the bad guys were actually being manipulated by the real bad
Mm.
guy.
I have a question for you, actually. Do you think that games need a villain? Do you think games need a BBEG, or do you think that you can just have an adventuring party existing in the world and they have adventures and face smaller to medium sized things, or should there be an overarching like bad guy?
I don't know. Because I've wanted to run something where it's basically here's the world, here are your characters, and we will kind of see
Hmm.
where it goes.
Hmm.
I think it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad guy or a sentience. I
Mm,
think there has to be a sufficient conflict in order to provide resolution, to find a
okay.
closure point for the campaign.
Yeah. All right.
So that can be a bad guy. That can be the evil Lich Vecna, or that can be Strahd, or that can be whoever. But it can also be there's a conflict.
Yeah.
And the bad guy isn't necessarily a bad guy, but it is this conflict that's happening
Hmm.
between two nations.
Yeah.
And, the party have to try and broker peace.
Yeah.
That could be a bad guy. It doesn't have to be a sentience. I think there has to be an obstacle to overcome
Hmm.
in order
In
to bring the campaign to a close.
Household, which is the next game I'm going to be running for my table, um, it's very, I don't want to say political because that's going to give the wrong vibe, but it is very much so like, there used to be a war between the Fae and the
Mm,
Boggarts and the Sprites. There used to be a war, and now it's in this time of fragile peace where
mm,
tensions are still high, but nobody's really fighting each other at the
yeah,
moment. Now the book two just came out, and that's a whole other story because like the tree comes smashing through the window and surprise there's like
mm,
wild Fae outside. But
yeah,
that's we're not there yet. But they're all like, you can play the bigger story or you can play your own smaller story.
yeah,
And I'm finding myself pulling away from the book narrative, and
mm,
because I've never run an adventure and I want to at some point. But I'm making my own like smaller storyline, and I know that this game is going to be much shorter than the current one I'm running because the current one
mm,
I'm running is like straight up homebrew everything,
yeah,
um, other than the system. But I'm curious to see if it works out. Let's just put it that way, because the bad guy in the game that I'm planning is very direct, like from the get go. Oh, bad guy. So I'm
yeah.
curious to see if I can pull it off and still keep their attention.
I'm
Because
sure. I'm
we'll
sure you'll be
see.
fine.
We'll see.
I think you're second guessing yourself
I
a
do. I
bit
do
too
that a lot.
much.
I do that a
I
lot.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I think your
Mm.
game's going to go run well, and I think everybody's going to enjoy your villain reveal, as it were.
I
Just a
do.
big
It's
shout out to Couch, who's jumping in quickly
oh,
while at work.
couch.
Enjoy work, my
Hi,
dude.
couch. Yeah. Since you don't love us anymore. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
He loves me.
I mean, he does. You get to see Couch. I don't. I miss Couch.
I see Couch once a week.
I think about Couch once a week.
I think a lot of people think about Couch once a week, if you know what I mean.
But
And I think on that note, it is about time to bring the
oh,
episode to a close.
oh,
As
bye,
fun as it has
friends.
been, um,
A
but
villain episode.
villain episode. So yeah, I've got show titles in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to thank everyone who's kind of joined us in the chat. It's also always a great, it's always great to see you guys. It's great to interact
Mm-hmm.
and lovely to see you. We love you to pieces. Also, thank you, Atlas, for joining me this evening. If you want to tell
Yeah.
people whereabouts they can find you on Tinterwebs.
Yeah, you can find me on the interwebs, Atlas Ursa, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear. I interact with people. I'm not some weirdo that doesn't talk to people. So hit me up on Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. What else do I have? I think that's it. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Come find me. Come find me. I'll
Um,
say hi.
as for me, you can find me on most of the social medias minus one.
Oh yeah, no, we don't talk about
Um,
that place.
as natural.juan. I'm also behind all of our social media presence for the show. So if one of those accounts
Was
says
not me.
annoys you, it's going to be me, and I'll have done it on purpose.
Probably.
You can also find us in our Discord, which we are kind of trying to soft relaunch
Mhm.
and, get people a bit more active on. Just come along, join us, pick out the
Yeah.
topics that you want to talk about, and we'll hang out, we'll have a good time. If you want to support us, you can subscribe to our $3 a month tier and gain access to the Traveler's Chalice, which
Mhm.
will give you a hand in the direction of the show. Like the most recent thing we did was fantasy feet picks, and that is directly coming from the Traveler's Chalice. There's something I'm going to post in
Yep.
there tonight about something that Atlas and I have discussed about the future of the show.
Yep.
So yeah, come and join us. If you want to support us as well, we've got our merch. Come and check out our merch store. We will be adding stuff to it. But we've got
Who
caps,
knows?
we've got
Maybe there'll be
t-shirts, we've got
some orc
hoodies,
feet on
we've got
there.
mouse mats, we've got fucking so much shit on there. But the best thing you can do, the most important thing you can do to help us along is tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Come along to the channels, like, subscribe, interact with us, because that's how we grow. But most importantly of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to two idiots waffle on about tabletop role playing games. Thank you very much, and good night.
Or good day. Or good morning. Good whatever you're having, if we're being honest.